Hi everybody, this is Roxy, and I wanted to share with you how to stamp images and print and cut them on your Silhouette. I've done a ton of them already, and what I like to do is kind of, instead of doing some fussy cutting, I just did this on my Silhouette. And you can, with the Silhouette, you can change the border or the margin around your cut however you want it to be. So that's a thicker one. Here's a not as thick at all, and then no margin at all. So then, you know, when I'm going to use this, I'll go along the side of it with the black marker just to make it look like it's stamped. Those were images that I stamped and then colored and then cut. These images I just stamped and cut so I can color them later. That's an element that I bought online. I did it with some type, so I think it turned out really good. I did it with a little tiny flower, just tested different things, some really cute border. Excuse me. And again, this is best for rubber stamps or cling mount stamps. You know, the typical way that everybody shows how to print and cut images is to pull the image into your Silhouette, trace the outline, and then just cut it, don't print it. But the way to do this is to stamp it first, and I'll show you the process. You scan it in and then trace around all your images. I like how that turned out. So even got some balloons. Alright, so I will show you how to do it. First of all, what I did is open up my Silhouette and print off, turn on the registration marks, and then print that piece off on a piece of 110-pound paper, or any kind of paper that you want to use for your stamped images. The way I print it for my machine, I print one piece at a time. I only load one piece at a time, and then I just gently keep my finger on the top as it pulls into the feed so that it pulls in nice and straight. Okay, so the first one I did, I traced pencil lines so that I could see where my registration marks are, because as in any kind of print and cut, you have to stay within those margins, otherwise it will just cut it straight off. The pencil marks, I erased them, but the Silhouette still picked some of them up, and then it couldn't read the registration marks. So after that, I just printed or used one of my cut-up pages, and I cut within those registration marks to cut out the area that you're going to be stamping on, or that I'm going to be stamping. And then I just take some washi tape and attach it to the template that I'm going to be stamping on. And that, you just want to kind of carefully align that up. Let the washi tape get in the way. And then you can stamp right on here. Okay, so when you're stamping your images, you want to be mindful of the margin that you're going to put on there. And when you first select the trace area, that creates a box around the image. So you got to be mindful of that. In other words, you don't want them too close together. You don't want them too close to any registration mark. So kind of just keep track of that. In other words, if I was normally stamping this, I might put this right up against the inside of that boot to save paper. But I want it away from that, so there's enough room for the margin around both the boots and this image. and also down from the top of my registration template. Okay, so I've stamped all my images, and now I just will scan it into my computer. I'm not going to show the scan feature because everybody's scanner is different. But once you scan it in, you want to change the extension from JPEG to PNG or a PNG file. And you can either do that in your Photoshop or your photo editing software, or you can just click on the document on your screen and delete JPG and put in PNG. So I will quick show that too. Okay, so I'm just going to open up my scanned file, and I just named it Unity. And this is where I kind of just make sure that it was on the scanner bed properly, so there's no black margins where it might have been Kitty Wampus on the scanner. And then just save as a PNG file. And interlace none is fine. Okay, then we're just going to close Photoshop. And then you can make sure that your page settings are 8.5 by 11. Let me just put that up there. And then we're just going to open up that file. And again, it's going to be in here. And I want the PNG file. Okay, now move that off. And what we want to do here, you don't have to move it, but we just want to put on the registration marks on your desktop here. And then we want to, I'm going to enlarge this so you can see. Now you want to line up those registration marks, okay? So the registration marks on your scanned document are lined up with the registration marks on your desktop here, I guess you want to call it. And you could print off this scanned file. I think it'd look fine, but I kind of like to save my ink, and that's why I want to do it this way, where I color and stamp everything and then pull it in. So we're not gonna be printing this. We're just gonna be cutting this. So I will show you now. What we want to do is turn on our trace, select trace area, and we're going to select all of our little images. Oops, my finger let go before it was supposed to. Okay, I'm just going to turn this up a little bit. So my way of doing this is a little different than what is out there. I turn off the high pass filter, turn on the low pass filter, change that from 1 to 7. I find that 7 works the best. And then the threshold between 90 and 65 seems to work the best. And you'll get a really nice margin around your inked or your stamped image. And then you just click on Trace Outer Edge and you're done. And with the threshold, if you fudge it from 90 to 96, you can get thicker margins than that. But that seems to be kind of a nice margin. So I'm going to just keep doing this so you can get the gist of it. Oops. My eyes let go of my finger. Okay, so again, high pass filter off, low pass filter on, change the low pass to 7, and move your threshold to about, I'm going to try 94 on this one. See, it's only doing this little bit. And it's because the rest of this is not real bold. So you can just go up to about 98. And that might mean, there we go. So I think 98 works pretty good. And there you have it. And here we go, we'll do another one. We'll do each different little things like circle. But see, for me, I have problems with my wrists, and one of my thumb joints was injured years ago, and it's really painful. So I really don't care to fussy cut. It's just really hard on my hands. So there's that. But this is super simple. Move that up. And again, you can change. You can have wide margins. Oops. Now I did that backwards. So I'm just going to do a undo. That's another thing too. When you get all done doing your trace and you accidentally move your images off the desktop, just do an undo. Don't try to move it back onto those trace images, because it'll drive you nuts. There's another way to do it where you can what is it called? Center it, but that's really hard too. I think I'm going to take this one down to about 93 and see how that looks. Maybe even 90. And then trace that outer image. There. We'll try the girl. I might have gotten that type over a little too far. Oh good, I didn't. So there we go. But see, if you left it like this, this is how it would cut it out. Like all these little teeny bits, and we don't want to do that. It would take forever. So take the high pass filter off, turn on low pass to 7, and threshold up to 93, I think. And we're missing some of this, and I really don't want this, but I could, if I wanted to, I could just move this up to like 96 until, if that's connected, it will cut it all out as one piece. So I'm just going to go up to 96.5, and that should do it. I think I'm just going to move this up a little bit so we don't cut off her hair up there, and then trace the outer edge. We'll try the type. And you can kind of move that up so you don't have all these weird little, like angles and edges and stuff. And then trace the outer edge. We'll do a little cute little elephant. That's going to be really tight, which can be fine. That'll be nice. But see how much fussy cutting that would be? Ugh, I just cringe at it. And I thought I was going to have a little problem with the elephant, because right here, I don't know if you can see that. Let me go forward when you can. There was some ink smudging here. And in the past, I've had it where it catches that. But thank goodness it didn't. If it did, you could just cut that off. Cut it out like this and then cut it off with your scissors. Because it might catch that on the trace. Well, that's not going to be cooperative for me. So okay, there. And then trace out our edge. Alright, so for the next step, we just need to cut this. So we'll go to our cut window, and we're just going to cut the edge. That's okay. I need to have cover stock, and I will be back. Okay, for a normal print and cut, you would just print and cut that. You put your blank piece of paper on here. But again, I don't want to waste all of my precious ink in my printer. But you know, at the same time, I could keep this trace file with that print and cut and print this again and again and again. But I want to use the original, so I will send this to my printer, or Silhouette, I mean. And then I just watch the first cut just to make sure that everything's cutting properly. You know, make sure it's going around the image like it's supposed to. Kind of looks good to me. So I will not make you sit through here and watch this because it's, you know, kind of boring to watch things get cut. I love that little girl, isn't she cute? But I will be back. Okay, so here are our stamped images all cut out. I should say all fussy cut out. Perfectly cut. I love it. So there you go. It's pretty simple. If you have any questions, let me know. And I hope you try it out. Thanks for watching. Bye.